In this video, we're going to learn how to add vegetation to a terrain. So I'm going to start with this terrain that's already made from the terrain sample. And if you go to the Downloads Manager, you can click on Environments, and the sample terrain package will be here. You just press Install. You need to be logged into your Leadwerks.com account. If you don't have one yet, then you can register for free at leadwerks.com community, and then that will allow you to download a lot of assets for free. But if you open up the finished terrain sample scene, it will look like this. And let's click the terrain tool, and then on the tool up here, let's go to vegetation. And we're just going to add a new layer. So plants and vegetation, and I'm going to start with realistic fir trees, and I'm just going to select the first two because those are both big trees, and I'll leave the third one alone because it's a very small one. And I'm going to set the maximum slope to let's say 35. We'll try that, and then let's increase the size of the tool here a bit. And then we'll just start painting. So that's gives us an extremely dense forest, probably much too dense. Let's try setting that to 4. That looks pretty good. And you'll notice the trees are only extending to a certain distance, so let's increase that distance to 500. It's using an imposter from far away, so we can render large numbers of trees at very low cost when they're far away. So we can afford to have a pretty far view range for this. And I don't really want them appearing on the rock faces. Let's set the maximum slope to 25. Oh yeah, that's good. I just kind of want them to be on the low areas, kind of on the sides of this valley. But I don't want them up on top of the mountains. I just want to kind of frame the scene. If you hold the control key while you're painting instances on, then that will just remove them. So it acts like an eraser. That's pretty good for now. Let's add a little bit more here. Okay, so we can call that finished. Let's add another layer. I want to add some grass. So this grass dry model, this is good, and all these models will be included in the package when you download it. Let's just paint that on, and I just want this kind of down on the valley floor. I actually should have set a maximum slope. Maximum slope, let's say, let's try 25. And I'm just going to kind of erase and go back and do it again. And then I want to increase the view range to something pretty high. 300, 200, yeah, that's good. Probably 150 is fine. And let's see how dense that is. The density looks okay. You'll notice this model. It's not just one instance of grass. It's like this big cluster of grass. So that's very efficient for rendering. But unfortunately, it's making the grass levitate because the instance is positioned here, but it just sticks straight out. So I don't really like that. But fortunately, we can deal with that. If we set the alignment mode to per vertex. Oh, now the grass just conforms to the hills very nicely. I'll show you that over here again. this is the default where it's just aligned by the center, and you can see you've got this stair-stepping effect. But if we just set it to per vertex, then it just offsets all the vertices by the terrain height, and everything lines up really nicely. Let's just make sure all these flat areas are filled in. And I don't really want the grass to be growing much higher than that. Okay. And finally, let's add some rocks. Let's see. Go back to vegetation, add layer, rocks, rock moss set 2, and I'm just gonna, let's see, I'll just try the first 3. So you can select multiple files, and that will give you variations of your instances, and that gives you, that's really great because you'll have a lot less repetition that way. You can see they're all different rocks. Yeah, and that's really nice because you can just paint a bunch of them down, and they'll just automatically be randomly chosen. And you can even, for each variation, the variation properties are down here, and you can even see this weight value. You can even change this to make a certain variation appear more or less frequently. So if you have a certain tree or something that's very, very distinctive looking and you don't want it showing up a whole lot, just every once in a while you can decrease its weight there, and it will be less likely to be used. So let's see, with these rocks, I think I want these along the sides of this little valley. I don't really want them everywhere. So I'm going to decrease my tool size here and just kind of use them to frame this area. I don't really want them, yeah, I just want them like at the foot of these hills, kind of. Because you're not even really going to be able to see them if they're mixed up, if they're all mixed in with the trees. So there's no need to really put them there. But they do look good along the edges. If you just do like a, yeah, just make kind of a line of them, and it looks very natural. Now these still look a little bit odd. So for each of these variations, I'm going to set the alignment mode to rotate to normal. And what this does is exactly what it sounds like. It just rotates the rock to kind of match the slope that it's sitting on. And that just looks a little bit, yeah, especially, you can see it really well right there. It just looks a little bit more natural. So that's a good thing to do with rocks like this. So without a lot of effort, without a lot of time, without a lot of artistic skill, I was able to just populate this whole area in a way that looks pretty natural. All using free assets that are available in the download system. So that's pretty much all you need to know to use the vegetation system. I look forward to seeing what you're able to create with it. Have fun.